Hey guys, it's Codiak here. Welcome back to Legacy Gaming and another video for Far Cry 6. I'm actually pretty bummed I have to make this one, but honestly, it's been a long time coming. This week, Ubisoft released the first crossover mission for real this time in Far Cry, featuring Danny Trejo, and straight up, it was a joke. This entire thing was one mission that took about 15 minutes and then a new special operation and nothing, and I mean nothing about this felt special in any way, shape, or form. First and most notably was that Danny Trejo just didn't sound interested in any of his dialogue lines, and that really stands out when you have the excellent work of Nisa and Sean voicing Danny Rojas. Compare that still to Giancarlo Esposito playing Anton Castillo, and you can really tell that Trejo was just phoning this one in for a paycheck. Second is the absolute pointless story arc here, if you could even call it that. First mission, you have to protect Danny Trejo as he makes tacos. Okay, fine, whatever. But not 30 minutes later, Trejo says we have to go liberate a school that's been taken over by a ruthless soldier who uses a straight razor to kill kids. The contrast is beyond weird, and while there are plenty of dark themes in Far Cry 6, the switch from taco defender to school liberator is just a bridge too far for me. The point is that there's no narrative here, nothing interesting to latch onto, and ultimately just a shoddy attempt to throw something together and put random content out there and push it in front of players with a famous face attached to it. I think it's high time we just spell this thing out plainly. If you're not going to make good endgame or free content, just don't do it, period. I think it almost does more harm than good when new bits of anything are injected into the game and the vast majority of players either don't care or hate it. Someone in some meeting somewhere during development had to pitch this entire concept, and then more people had to greenlight it. But did anyone stop and actually ask the question, is this good for the health of the game? And more importantly, will the players like it? I don't think so. Let's be clear, this is free content, so choosing to pick it apart might seem a bit much to some of you, but just because it's free doesn't mean it can't be good. Content Update's main goal is to bring players back to the table, right? And in some capacity, try and rope in new players by giving them more that might appeal to them. But when that free content is this bad, it does absolutely nothing positive for anyone. The second real problem here, and this is a Ubisoft issue through and through, is the lack of creativity or rewards outside of established systems. From day one, the team starts creating all sorts of systems that they can use in numerous parts of the game. Implement it here, copy and paste it over there. This is why Ubisoft games specifically are often called bloated and boring, because so much of their games are just copy and pasted quests and objectives. I'm not talking about the narrative stuff, but the actual things you're doing, rescuing rebels, blowing up tanks, stealing PG-240X, etc. It's all stuff we've done a million times before, and that there is the problem. The team could have used this opportunity to do something different, anything really. The first thing that comes to mind is adding in different melee weapon skins or even models and animations. Sure, it takes time and resources, but is that something that would interest some players? Absolutely. That's honestly the low-hanging fruit. There's really no end to what new stuff the team could have added, but here we are again, diving into another special operation, content that most people dislike with no real payoff other than a new weapon. Don't get me wrong, new weapons are fine, but at this point, so many people have moved on from the game, only something big will bring them back. A new gun isn't going to do that. When I look at the post-launch calendar, I just lose all hope that anything remotely new and interesting is coming to the game. We've already played through the Voss DLC, which is tailor-made to be copy and pasted twice more, once for Pagan Min and once for Joseph Seed. And the other two narrative missions, Rambo and Stranger Things, feels more like a way for Ubisoft to make a quick buck off name ID than anything else. Things like this just really grind my gears, and I'll try and boil it down in a way that makes sense. There's no need to extend the life of every game like this. Far Cry 6 could have easily been a standalone, narrative-driven experience with more time and energy put into making something special that had a definitive end, but instead, parts of the development team were tasked with creating this additional content, none of which really enhances the game in any meaningful way. Of course, it all ties back to money, and the crossover mission is just a conduit to push more gear into the store that people can buy. This is a classic Ubisoft tactic, so it's nothing new, but let's not become numb to just how shitty that actually is. I'd like to think that most of the people working on this game are talented, driven folks who actually want to create the best possible game, but at the end of the day, when you have shareholders to answer to, the craft takes a backseat to the cash. It's the sad truth of the AAA industry, and it's the reason we've seen major studios fall from grace and indie companies rise up. The dollar bill is the dividing line between great games that we enjoy and mediocre games that we tolerate, and the reality is, I don't think that's changing anytime soon. To summarize, the Far Cry 6 crossover mission was a massive fail, at least in my opinion. The game suffers from some of the most uninspiring endgame content I've ever seen, and the AAA companies are in dire need of a shock to the system to get them back on track and making great games. A cheery topic, guys, I know, but a vital one. It's important to me and to Livid to have honest conversations about the games that we play, even if that means ruffling a few feathers. Anyways, that's all I've gotten me today. You know we've been covering Far Cry 6 for quite some time, and if you've enjoyed our content and want to follow along as we take on some of the biggest games of the next year, do me a solid and hit that thumbs up and subscribe. We've got big plans for 2022, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. You can also join us on Discord. We've got a great community of around 7,000 members with a special section dedicated just for Far Cry 6, so check out that link below and join today. Finally, if you like everything we're doing here at Legacy Gaming and you want to support us even more, you can do so by becoming a member. For just a couple bucks, you're helping evolve the channel and take our community to that next level. Check out the join button below to learn more. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.